Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today I'm going to be talking about business opportunities here in Ghana. If you saw my last video, I touched on it briefly a little bit, but I feel like there's a lot more to be spoken about on the topic. So for anyone who's interested in coming to Ghana or just wants to know what's out there in terms of business investments, then this is a video for you. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about would be real estate, really, because that's what I've chosen to go into, and I feel like real estate overall is just a good investment wherever you go. Here in Ghana particularly, the real estate I think is a good investment because the cost of building here is a lot more affordable and attainable, especially if you're using overseas currency to do so. Using the exchange rate, I've been able to embark on a venture that I would have found very intimidating doing it overseas, back from the UK where I'm from. But over here, I'm able to partake in actually building properties, not just a property. And I feel like overall it's just a good investment for anyone to go into. You can't go wrong owning property, because if you're not going to be renting it out and making money from it, you will always have a roof over your head by default. So property is definitely one of the things I'll put on the list of investment opportunities in Ghana. It's so versatile because you can either rent it out for long-term renters. You can B&B it as like a holiday spot to come to. There are a lot of attractions over here in Ghana. Just last year we had hosted Afro Nations. You have a lot of tourist attractions, you have the beach, you have different areas that people come to from overseas where you can earn money from tourism, or you could also just earn money in general from renting to anyone here locally. So I would definitely say that real estate is a good investment, and again, the affordability as well of being able to do it. Hands down, this is a place to invest in real estate. Another thing I want to touch on when it comes to real estate is there has been an increase of people moving to Africa from all over. The cost of living around the world has been rising rapidly, and so people have been looking for alternative places to go and live. So investing here and getting in on the real estate market here, knowing that things are rising, is definitely, I see it, an additional point to why it's a good investment. That's partly why I actually chose the area I chose to invest in particularly. So I mentioned in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, definitely go and see. But I'm currently staying in a diasporan community. So basically everyone here has traveled from, whether it be America or the UK, and they've come here to live. From way back, I decided to invest in land here because I thought, okay, if this is a diasporan community, when they come, they're going to need a place to rent whilst they're doing their building, or whilst they're basically setting up their places. Or maybe if they're staying for a short visit just to see the sights around the mountains and so on. I've basically put in the investment of building the accommodation that allows for them to come and stay and do that. Okay, so the next business venture that I think would be really good to invest in here in Ghana is retail. So whether it be online retail or having stores based here and going across Africa, to be honest, I would say that it's a really good investment over here. You have all the raw resources and materials from here. Other countries come here for the raw materials, for resources and stuff that they then manufacture and sell back to Africa and to other countries. So why not get in on it yourself? There's many things. Say you want to start up a skincare line, you've got the resources for it. If you want to start up a clothing line, you have the raw resources for it. I've seen many manufacturing companies here, and they do it for a good affordable price as well, so that you would actually be able to depending on, regardless of your income, you would have something that you could put your money into and basically make a store on it, and you can make it the store something you sell online or something you sell again in an actual retail shop. Even when it comes to, say, the price of hiring out a shop, again with the exchange rate, you can have that in your favor too if you want to open up your shop over here. Depending on the area, it would depend on how much it would cost to maybe rent out a store, but the point is it's more affordable and attainable, and so that's why I think it's definitely a good investment. One example is there's a place not too far from here in Techiman that actually provides the products for Lush, the skincare brand. Whatever it is you're interested in, you can find the raw materials here and use that to create a business that you would like to make. So definitely, you could do a lot here. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about, and I think it's the one I would pay attention to the most because it's something that I think is a gold mine here. It's agriculture. So one thing about Ghana, and I pretty much can say Africa as a whole, is that the land here is fertile. In the particular area I'm staying in is a farming region. If I toss a seed and walk away, come back in 2 weeks, that seed will be a mini tree. It would already have started to grow. Agriculture is a definite big industry for the whole world because everyone needs to eat, you know. So I would definitely say a good investment would be to go into agriculture. It's something that is an investment for whatever income you have. If you have a high income or a low income, it's something that you can go into either way, because from what I've experienced over here, I've come across some places where they can rent land to you or you can buy land. So when it comes to farming, you can, if you're gonna go big and you get acres and acres of land, whether you rent it or own it, you can sell that to different countries, or you can sell that within the continental countries here, and you can make your money from doing that. It's actually a big industry, like I said already, to go into. You can do more research into it yourself, and the more you look into it, I'm sure the more you're going to realize that actually there's a lot of money to be made in agriculture. But it really does go based on, like, say how are you gonna sell your items. If you're able to create connections where you can sell your food across further places, whether that be within the continent, so maybe you're shipping certain fruits to other countries here in Africa, or you're going outside of Africa to other continents, it's just a profitable industry to go into, and it's an attainable industry to go into. And like I said, the land is so fertile that you can pretty much grow anything, as long as you know how to, you know, and it's not something that you couldn't learn. So that is a very big industry I say to go into. And then connecting to that would be manufacturing. Over here, I already mentioned earlier when I was talking about retail, but not much stuff is manufactured here in Africa. Africa itself buys majority of its products, manufactured products, from outside, despite the fact that we are the ones who grow all the raw materials for those products. So if you was to start some kind of manufacturing thing here, you've got the raw materials here, and then you have the manufacturing here. You could make a lot from doing that. Here in the area that I'm staying in, they produce tomatoes, they produce cocoa, and they produce cashews. That's just some of the stuff that they produce. They produce a lot more, but those are the ones that I see the most, you know, behind. If you go a little bit further behind, there's a whole giant cocoa farm. You drive up to where we stay now, and there's cashews. There's so many ways to manufacture those things. You can make cashew milk, you can make cashew cheese, you can just have the roasted cashew nuts. You know, the tomatoes, you can do sun-dried tomatoes, canned tomatoes, and with cocoa, of course, you know, you can make chocolate, or you can just powder it and sell the cocoa powder. So many things you can do with all these different products, and they are here growing in abundance. So if you was to invest in a manufacturing machine that can basically turns into products you can sell in the shop, then you would you'll be doing good for yourself. Even to me, it's even something that I myself would like to go into eventually. You know, as of now, my main focus is on what I've already started, but definitely once I'm finished that, I am definitely going to be involved in the manufacturing industry, because I feel like we need to bring back the funds. You know, Africa as a whole, it's the land of abundance, and yet not everybody who is living here is able to reap the benefits of it, because we're purchasing from outside. It doesn't make sense when you think about it, but it's what happens, and I feel like it needs to change. So if that's something that you can see yourself being able to invest in, and I feel like manufacturing, it may not necessarily be as expensive as it might sound. I know some people might think, okay, I'm gonna have to save a lot of money or spend a lot of money on manufacturing equipment, but there are ways to manufacture without using big manufacturing equipment. I think what's more important is just making sure you do things to code, you know, when you do want to manufacture things and sell it. Continuing on with the manufacturing, because say, you know, again, with affordability, because I want to make sure I talk about how if you don't have a lot of money to invest, you can still do certain things, you know, and then if you have more money to invest, then also you can do, you know, certain things as well. So if you have the money to invest in heavy machinery to do manufacturing here, do that. But if not, there's other ways and means of doing things that are more affordable. One of the things that I've seen over here, particularly in this farming region, is that during cashew season, when the cashews are being harvested, they take the cashew nut and then they throw the fruit. So I don't know if you've seen what cashew looks like. So it's a fruit and then a nut is attached to it. And so here they throw the fruit to the side. It ends up in this big pile that gets that basically just rots and stays there whilst they sell the fruit. And I thought to myself, like, you know, there's so many things that can be done with the cashew fruit. You know, you can make cashew wine, you can make cashew juice, you can make fruit cakes out of it, but they just get tossed to the side. And then when I decided to look into what it takes to make cashew wine, it actually seemed a lot more easier than one may think. So that is, I would say, a more affordable thing to go into in the manufacturing industry, because say you purchase the barrels they use to ferment the fruit into, which wouldn't be a large purchase. Over here you can probably get it made for an affordable price, and then you go to these farms where they're tossing the fruit and not even, you know, using it anyways, and maybe you ask them for the fruits. Maybe you might offer them a small price for it or something like that, because they toss it anyways. And there you have it. You can start your own business just from that. You don't even need to own land in that instance. You know, just invest in the barrels itself, look into how to make it, you know, learn the process. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on it. I myself just Google searched it. There is a manufacturing business you can go into. I feel like even though I'm saying different things in this video, there is not enough time in a video for me to talk about the agriculture and manufacturing industry that could be a ways and means of earning a good income for yourself. So definitely I'll say do your own research, look into it more, because you'll find that there is money here to be made, but you just have to have the ability to see it and, you know, go for it. So with that being said, going on to the next money maker that I feel like should be invested in if you come to here, Ghana or another African country. Okay, another thing that I would say would be good to go into as a business would be waste management. So I looked it up and it turns out that Africa only recycles 4% of its plastic waste, which is kind of crazy. You know, waste management is something that definitely needs to be taken up here, not even just for a business idea, just in general. It's quite unfortunate to see the littering that kind of goes on around here. So I think that if it's something that you can see yourself going into, waste management would be a profitable business, because it's not really being taken up too heavily. Whether it is that you structure basically a business similar to like how, if you're from the UK, you see how the bins, they come around, they take up the waste and they dispose of it. In other countries they have a similar system. There's smaller versions of the systems you can take up. I'm going to link down below methods that some businesses have taken up for waste management and how they're earning their money and profits from it. But definitely over here it would be a good thing to invest in, and I would appreciate it because it would make it easier for me to, I mean, over here we've found our own way of disposing of waste, but it is good to have that system already incorporated and over further distances, because I'm quite far out from the main busy cities. So that is a business form that you can go into. too. So another business that would be good to be invested over here in Ghana, I think, would be more things towards the entertainment industry, and I would say expanding it further out around Ghana. So when it comes to entertainment over here, you go to Accra, you do have a lot of forms of entertainment, and the fact that the population is increasing a lot and a lot of foreign people are coming, they are starting to venture out more further away from Accra. You know, after Accra you've got Kumasi, which has a lot of, you know, has Kumasi Mall, and there's entertainment things to do there too, but more and more people are coming, you know, and because of that, again, areas like where I'm staying, where there's a diasporan community growing, if there is an area where it's developing really fast, you know, and there isn't entertainment there, but people are moving out there, you can be the one to bring the fun, and because you're the one with the first fit in, you're going to be the one making the most money from it. Okay, so another good investment opportunity here in Ghana, I would say, would be transportation. I think it's really easy to get into transportation over here if you have the ability to invest. In terms of affordability, if you're coming over here as a diaspora and you have the exchange rate again on your side, so the cost of purchasing a vehicle over here versus purchasing it back, say, in the UK, is a lot more affordable. You can get a brand new motorbike. Using my motorbike, for example, I bought it brand new for approximately, in exchanging it for pounds, approximately £1,000, and that's for a brand new good quality bike. So you know, for a used vehicle you could get for cheaper. I wouldn't really recommend buying a used vehicle in terms of a bike. A car maybe, bike I wouldn't. If you are able to purchase your own vehicle, then you can invest in having your own taxi business, whether that be motorbike taxis, where maybe you buy a bunch of motorbikes and you hire people to drive, and they'll maybe pick people up, just one passenger at a time when it comes to motorbike taxis. But you know, you could get a good income from that, a good passive income from that, or even more than passive, depending on how many you're able to invest in. Also, when it comes to motorbikes in particularly, you can also invest in having your own delivery company, where you service delivery for different restaurants or shops and businesses where they need like smaller products delivered, and you can be the one to kind of provide that service. There is stuff like that here already, but you could also get in on it because it's not a saturated market here in Techiman in particular. But I can see that even though it's not a saturated market here in Techiman, it is starting to grow more. It's still early days if you want to invest in something like that, and even if it wasn't early days, it's a good investment period. So transportation 100%, and particularly motorbikes, which is the most affordable transportation, that's one I would definitely see as a good investment. And again, that's something I myself would like to invest in eventually too, but focusing on one at a time. When it comes to that, you could also invest in other transportation, say VIPs. You can maybe invest in your own coach. In my other video, I spoke on the different transportations that are around here in Ghana. So you could invest in your own vehicle and have a route where you would take people from A to B, whatever route you want to set up for yourself. Hire someone to drive the vehicle, or drive it yourself if you would like to do that. And, you know, start getting more and more vehicles and just build a fleet of transportation vehicles that's earning you income, you know, on the side or as a main source of income, depending on how heavily you would like to invest in it. That's another business that you can start for yourself here in Ghana, and again in Africa too as a whole, because I feel like a lot of businesses that will thrive here will also thrive in other countries here in Africa. Okay, so that's all for this video today. I hope it was informative. I didn't cover the wide range of businesses that they are here, but I did cover quite a few, so I hope that there's something that you could take from this. If there's more you want to know about, you could definitely do some research, or, you know, let me know in the comments below and I can start looking into more so I can give more ideas in another video. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video too if you liked it, and do share so that anyone else who is interested in this too will get an opportunity to see it. So with that being said, take care, bye bye, and have a lovely day.